Hey, good morning on this Monday. How you all doing today? I am so happy to be back after a good weekend. And what a great weekend it was for St. Louis sports. More on that. We're going to cover some ground today. So, hello again, my friends. I want to get started. I'm excited about this. I wanted to get started by welcoming our new sponsor to the Bernie Show. Starting today, the Bernie Show is presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Thank you, DraftKings. More on DraftKings later. I will have a column on the Cardinals today here at sportshubstl.com. And I started writing it very early this morning, and I look forward to getting that done for you and putting it online. Well, what a weekend for the Cardinals and the Blues, huh? And while I'm at it, I mean, they're just tremendous, both the Cardinals and the Blues. While I'm at it, let's make sure to congratulate the Battlehawks who went to Houston, rushed for about 900 yards. I exaggerate, but it was pretty impressive the way they just pounded the ball on the ground. Anyway, they rushed for about 900 yards. They beat the brisket out of the Roughnecks 31-6 in the United Football League season opener. On Saturday afternoon in Denver, the Blues outlasted the Avalanche. They held off a pretty relentless push by the home team, and they got on the plane back to St. Louis with a well-deserved, hard-earned 2-1 victory. It was, as you know, the ninth straight win for Coach Jim Montgomery's surging team, the hottest team in the league, and gave the Blues an NHL best 16-2 record since February 8th. That is outstanding stuff. The Blues overall under Monty are 31-16-6. He took over back on November the 25th following the sacking of Coach Drew Bannister. And I keep talking about this, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because it's exciting to me. Montgomery has absolutely transformed the Blues in terms of converting them into a dynamic 5-on-5 team during his 53 games as the coach. And I keep pounding on that, like I said, because I just don't think it can be stated enough. I'm going to get into this a little bit, but the Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019 because they dominated teams at 5-on-5. And we can talk about special teams and goaltending and so many other things that are important. Yes, of course they are. But if you have a poor 5-on-5 foundation, if you have a mediocre 5-on-5 foundation, you're just not viable in terms of a team that A, can get into the playoffs, and B, go on a deep, deep run. I mean, it's possible, but I'm just saying the odds are working against you. At least the way the kind of style the Blues like to play in, or the Blues, the kind of style they have to kind of fit their talent. There's one difference between this team and that team in 2019, which, the Blues, these Blues are a lot faster, and that's also a big plus. And Jim Montgomery has encouraged his guys to fly. I mean, his playmakers and his guys with speed, go, push it. You like seeing fast break hockey is the best way I would put it, right? This team was just utterly horrendous at 5-on-5 hockey before the coaching change, and now the Blues are dominating opponents, as I mentioned, in a 5-on-5 way that we haven't seen since Craig Berube took over from Mike Yeo just before Thanksgiving in 2018. Berube didn't take him long. It did take him a couple, 3 weeks maybe, but he reinvented the Blues like on the spot. He turned them into a heavy load. I mean, a heavy, heavy load 5-on-5 machine. And we kind of know what happened at the end of the season, right? I'll get back to the Blues, right? To me, this video is for all the fans who love both teams, the Blues and the Cardinals. So why not double up today? And I'm going to do that. So I started off with the Blues. I'm going to go to the Cardinals, and then I'm going to come back to the Blues. So I'm happy to do that because I didn't want to shortchange either one of these teams. These two teams are giving St. Louis sports fans some reasons to smile. And it's good to smile, right? Why not be happy when we can watch these two successful outfits doing their thing? But before I shift into the Cardinals' fun start, I want to take a little time to tell you about DraftKings. Question: are you ready to win real money? You think you're struggling to choose which teams will pull off upsets? What about the concluding drama to the college basketball season? And there's so much more going on right now. Well, here's the thing. Forget about the teams. All you need to do is focus on player stats to rack up big cash prizes with DraftKings Pick Six. And when it comes to massive payouts, DraftKings dunks on all the competition. And the Pick Six is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. You track your picks for a shot to win huge cash prizes. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's also really, really easy to sign up. I recently did that, and it's just a snap. No problems whatsoever. No hassles whatsoever. Just download the DraftKings app and open an account, then choose the sport, draft your players, and have fun. Go win. You can turn your knowledge of baseball, NHL, NBA, college hoops, and other sports into some cash today. So new players get $50 in Pick Six credits instantly with just a $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick Six credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick Six from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick Six not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick Six credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at picksix.draftkings.com/promos.
Okay. Thank you. And let's get back to talking about the Redbirds. As you know, the Cardinals opened the season really wonderful fashion. They're sweeping a 3-game series from the Twins. They looked pretty ruthless doing it, outscoring the Twins 19-6. And manager Ali Marmol's team looks sharp in every way that matters. Oh, the people who choose to be, miserable instead of appreciating the greater good, meaning the team success. I've already saw people online. It's no big deal. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. No big deal. But I've already seen people crabbing about Wilson Contreras. He didn't have a hit. Mason Wynn didn't have a hit. Well, I know this. There are a hell of a lot of hitters on that team that had hits and more than hits. Did a lot of things offensively, defensively. Very impressive demonstration of baseball. But again, it's just one of those deals. Let's face it. This is the world we live in. There's always going to be a lot of folks who can only see clouds in the silver lining. So what do? You just say, okay, that's cool. Look, I'm going to go watch some baseball. But any rational Cardinals fan would appreciate just about everything we saw over the first 3 games. And again, with the Cardinals outscoring the Twins by 3 runs, I don't believe that. In fact, I know the Cardinals never trailed in that series. They were tied for a few innings over the 3 games, but never trailed. I mean, they just took the lead from the get-go and took care of business over the first 3 games of the season. How about the pitching? The starters and relievers collectively held the Twins to 6 earned runs in 27 innings. That's a 2 ERA. The Redbirds offense mashed for an average of 6.3 runs per game, hit 306, slugged 520, kicked up a 909 OPS. What I really liked about it, and I'm going to be writing about this in part later when you go to the Bernie Miklasz column on the Sports Hub, the Cardinals did a really nice job of tiring out Minnesota's pitchers. They drove up the pitch counts with really disciplined and really intensely focused at bats. I mean, it was just smart hitting. The Cardinals slugged 5 homers in their 24 innings of at bats. And after hitting .229 with runners in scoring position last season, worst in the National League, 29th overall, just so bad. The Cardinals were 10 for 31 against the Twins, RISP. That's a .323 average. They also hit 3 home runs in those situations. Hey, the defense was outstanding all over the field. Victor Scott II stole 3 bases in the 3 games. He also saved Thursday's win, definitely saved a win by making a fantastic catch in center right field in that gap. And then Sunday, he blasted a 3-run homer to bust this game wide open. What a great start for Victor Scott to the season. And what a great series it was from leadoff man Lars Nootbaar and cleanup hitter Nolan Arenado. What a really terrific series it was for the two catchers. Ivan Herrera started the first two games, and Pedro Pages came along, started the third game. But together they went 7 for 11 with 5 RBIs and a homer by Pages. Brendan Donovan had a superb series offensively and defensively. Jordan Walker took some smart at bats. And in his 2 starts, he played solidly in right field. There were no incidents. Nolan Gorman, who had such a rough spring training, made his regular season debut Sunday, went 3 for 4 with a monstrous home run. And on many days when right-handed pitchers start for the other side, Gorman basically is competing, not every situation, but often will be competing basically with Alec Burleson for those DH at-bats. And Ali Marmol got around that yesterday by starting Burley at first base, and it was a good move. And I think Ali's going to come up with a lot of ways to get the necessary ABs for the guys they want to get ABs to, right? So anyway, Gorman's going to be competing directly, indirectly with Alec Burleson for at-bats. And as we saw yesterday, Gorman plans to go down swinging, as in punches, even if he will go down swinging, as in strikeouts a little too often, right? The Cardinals were energetic, engaged, entertaining. They gave their fans a show, gave their fans some hope. So what does this 3-0 start mean? Well, it means they've played 3 games and they've won all 3, right? And you know me, I got to shut up about this because I'm wearing it out. But it's like, I don't need anyone to tell me it's early, okay? Of course it's early. We know that, all right? And they have 159 games to go. But a 3-0 start was successful by any sane measure. As I mentioned the other day, it's okay to talk about all the games they play. It's okay to, keep in mind it's a long season. But whether when they start out in 2025 after having 2 seasons where they ranked 22nd among the 30 teams in winning percentage, if they want to come out of the gate strong and win 3 games, I'm not going to belittle it by saying, well, it's early. Yeah, of course. I have a few quick points to make about that. A 3-0 record is better than a 2-1 record, a 1-2 record, 0-3 record. And by the way, the first 3-game sweep to open a season at home since 2003, and the first 3 games sweep to win any series at the start of the season since 2006. So, yeah, you'll take the 3-0. It's a little better than 1-2 or 0-3, right? And had the Cardinals been swept by the Twins or lost even 2 out of 3, lost the series, oh, man, there'd be a loud, raging fury of hellfire, complete with calls to sack the manager and the president of baseball operations, and everybody be making signs, sell the team, and all that stuff, on and on. So if we're going to do that, if some of us are going to go bananas when they start off the season and lose, well, I think it's okay to just kind of take some satisfaction and some pleasure in what we saw earlier, like early on, right away at the start of the season. Yeah, and here's the thing for all of the, well, it's early, Bernie, people. I agree with you. But it sure was early last season in 2024. It sure was early last season when the Cards lost 4 out of their first 6 series at Busch Stadium. Repeat, last season they lost 4 out of their first 6 series at Busch Stadium, and they lost 11 of their first 17 home games in the process. Those early season home failures rolled the Cardinals straight into the gutter, and they never quite overcame the early deficit despite playing much better later on and playing really better at home. But after losing, I remember this homestand, man, it was bad. After losing 4 out of 5 games in a homestand against the White Sox and the Mets, The Cardinals were 15-21 overall on May the 7th. They managed to get to 500 later in the month, but then they settled into kind of this pattern of just hovering right around 500. Might be a game up, might be a game down, that kind of thing. It was really hard for the Cardinals to stay above water once they got there, and they barely stayed above water most of the time. By the end of the season, they did a good job. Bullpen was saving them time and time again. So they finished with 83 wins, but their postseason chances had evaporated long before that. So my point being, that terrible record at home early in the season was very, very damaging to the 2024 Cardinals. So imagine this radical opinion I'm going to hit you with. It's really radical. Yeah. Winning's good at any time. It's good. It's beneficial. It's healthy. And given the fact that the Cardinals, again, got a lot to prove this season, I think it was really, really very good for them to get off to a positive start, right? That's how you get confidence going. That's how your belief in yourselves gets strengthened even more. The 3-0 start, however, as you know, it also assures nothing, and it means nothing in the global sense, because for it to really, really matter, the Cardinals are going to have to keep stacking up series wins, keep piling up the victories. Hey, the Angels are in town for the next 3 games. And if the Cardinals lose this series to the Angels, it'll take the shine off their first homestand. And that sweep over the Twins, while obviously a success, it won't look quite as hot if the Cardinals get upended by the Angels, a team that I think has got some good pitching and plays good defense, at least in the early going. See, winning is great. Winning's great. And when your team isn't expected to win, that team comes out and pounds the Twins for 3 straight victories. There's a little joy in the air, right? People are talking, buzzing about the Cardinals getting out of the gate this way. But I also understand totally human nature, and there's a tendency to hold back just a little. Sure, the Cardinals, their fans are really happy that the team swept Minnesota, but any skepticism that's still out there is understandable. Never knock anyone for being skeptical, because you got to prove it over a long distance of the schedule. But so maybe you loved what you saw, but you don't entirely trust what you saw during the first 3 home games. You liked it. Yep. You loved it. Yep. You want to believe in it. Yep. However, it's too soon to believe, maybe for people. Well, it's too soon to believe for me too. Because this is the mission for the 2025 Cardinals, to turn their fans into believers, to turn cynics into believers. And that 3-0 out of the gate was a nice, fast start for them. Listen, the Cardinals players believe in themselves, and they have been saying that all along, even before spring training. They were saying it during the winter warm-up. But as much as their true fans want the Cardinals to win, as much as their fans want to be fired up by this first series, it's really, really, really vital for the Cardinals to do this over and over again. I don't mean necessarily sweep. That's asking a lot. But I'm talking about just winning series, man. That was Tony La Russa's thing. Just win series, you're going to be fine. Just win series. You just keep winning series. That's all you got to focus on. You'll be fine. And you'll be in good shape. And it's true. Just keep winning series. It's up to the players and the staff to turn these early days into weeks and months of good baseball, to turn the doubters and the skeptics into believers. But the Cardinals took their first 3 steps and opened the season with a bang. And listen, I just thought it was a lot of fun to watch. And now comes the tough part, making these good times last. Okay, now I'm going to pivot back to the Blues. They've won 9 in a row. They are the strongest team in the NHL since the 8th of February. They defiantly came out of a downward phase on the schedule where they were just still trying to put everything together, and they just have propelled themselves forward like a rocket, and they're still ascending. The Blues are an amazing 16-2-2 in their last 20 games, and it could be really the most invigorating, exciting stretch of regular season hockey we've seen in these parts from a Blues crew since Craig Berube's 2019 team went a spectacular 30-10-5 from the start of January 2019 to the end of the regular season. Hold that thought for a minute. As of Monday morning, the Blue Note had an 88.4% chance to make the playoffs, according to Money Puck. The Blues have moved into a tie with Minnesota for the first wild card spot in the West. The Wild play at New Jersey Monday night and can move ahead of the Blues by winning outright or getting a tie or getting that 1 point in overtime. So, I'm sure you all be, looking at that score and keeping track of it. But the Blues are in excellent shape. They're 6 points clear of Vancouver. They are 7 ahead of Calgary in the position for the number 2 wildcard spot, if it comes down to that. And though, we hear this all the time, the Blues have played one more game than Minnesota, one more game than Vancouver, 2 more games in Calgary. That's all well and good, but the Blues have it in their hands. It's whether they drop it or not. And for the Blues to lose this race, this competition to make the playoffs, the only way they squander this is if they just completely fall apart and collapse. And I don't think that's going to happen. Not with the way they are playing, not with all the scenes that are just really, really, you take it all in and you're like, gosh, what a team this has become. You got the old guys and the young guys, and they're motivating each other. You got the new Blues and the familiar veterans like Captain Braden Shen. You have ascending players. You have older players that are sort of getting a second kick, right? Just like found that new burst of energy and enthusiasm. And I said this in a previous video. I think all these young guys on the Blues are kind of motivating, inspiring the veterans, but it works both ways. The Blues, you got to remember back into the not so pleasant days, the Blues were a disjointed and depressing 26th in the league in points percentage when Bannister got fired and was replaced by Monty. And Jim Montgomery, man, he has let me start that over. He has reshaped and reimagined the Blues in a way that is simply stunning. Sure, the Blues experienced some hardship after being rejuvenated at first by the coaching change. They hit a couple lulls after that. And so that hot start under Monty fizzled for a time. And the Monty Blues, there was a time where I was pretty fed up, and I'm sure many of you were. There was a time there where the Monty Blues kind of looked like the same old Blues. But, the idea that, that they were going to kind of stay on that course and just completely skid out of it and, fall into the pond and never recover. Monty wasn't going to let that happen. This is a hell of a coach, and he brought this team together. He stayed patient when they were not playing well there for a while. He remixed and enhanced the team culture. That is so obvious. His combination of teaching, positive reinforcement, and tough but sincere criticism. These players know that he will make them better, and he's giving his all to make them better, and they've accepted it totally. And this team has a new personality. It really does. And it has a new accountability and a more vigorous work ethic. The Blues went through those slow periods that I alluded to. But the thing about those slow periods, you can go one way or the other. You can sort of give into it, and then you just go, oh, we're done. Or you can come out of it as a more efficient, disciplined, determined, exciting team. And we know that's the path that this coach and the Blues players chose. And they are going to be really dangerous once they get to the playoffs. Montgomery did his best coaching when the Blues were sliding a little bit. He would tell the players, we've read the stories. Tell the players, hey, I'm not giving up on you. There's enough talent and character in this room to become a successful team. And we're going to get there. But you have to want it. You're going to have to learn how to get there. And that means accepting coaching. And you have to work hard and sacrifice for each other. You put the team first. I mean, he had that positive reinforcement over and over again. But the difference is all coaches say that stuff. These players not only listened, but they took it to heart, and they're playing with a lot of heart. Montgomery, of course, just with his use of personnel is a lot better than what we were used to seeing. He's put together those winning line combinations, those really good defensive pairings. They keep thriving even after losing Colton Parayko, the defenseman, who's having a great year. Monty also installed a new forechecking system that's been extremely effective. So here I'm going to go back to the 5-on-5 stuff, because that's the story in terms of like, why are they winning? This is at the top of the list, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. Since Monty became coach, the Blues remarkably have scored 60% of the 5-on-5 goals during the competition. That means, let me give it to you another way. Since Monty became their coach, the Blues have outscored the opponents by 41 goals at 5-on-5. That is a breathtaking number. The arrival changed everything. Monty's arrival changed everything. And since that day, since his first game, the fact that the Blues have scored 60% of the 5-on-5 goals, that's the most strength. That is the predominant strength by any team in the league over this time since Monty took over. No one has played this well at 5-on-5. And then in the 16-2 season turnaround, the Blues have scored 65% of the 5-on-5 goals. I mean, think about that. 65%. That's preposterous. But it's real. It's happening. We see it. And it's happening night after night after night. And it was even happening. Their 5-on-5 play was strong even when they went through a rut or two and weren't winning. They always had that foundation. As I said in the last video about this, they always had that foundation that they could stand on. And eventually it would turn. And it has turned. And it's no fluke, because the results come directly from the foundation built by Montgomery in his 53 games as coach of the Blues. Check this out. In the last 20 games during this hot streak, the Blues lead the NHL with an average of 3.43 5-on-5 goals per 60 minutes. That's a lot. Number one in the league, 3.43 5-on-5 goals per 60 minutes. And they're really, really good at preventing 5-on-5 goals. They rank fifth best among NHL teams since February 8th. They've yielded during that time, only 1.83 goals per 60 minutes of 5-on-5. And we continue to see just about every player thriving under this coach and in his system. Listen, I got to say it. The last time we saw a Blues coach make this level of extraordinary impact, it came when Berube took over for Mike Yeo and guided that 2019 team, through a phenomenal metamorphosis. Early in the video, I explained why we're witnessing the best 5-on-5 hockey by a Blues team since the Berube effect in 2019. And it's factually true. I'm not exaggerating. Please listen to this. In the Blues' final 45 games of that 2019 regular season, again, their record was an astonishingly good 30-10-5. The Blues ranked first in the NHL with a 5-on-5 goal share that was basically 60%. Does that sound familiar? That's where they are since Monty took over, scoring 50% of the 5-on-5 goals. And much like Montgomery's team now, the 2019 Blues controlled the battle in the high danger areas, scoring 61% of the 5-on-5 goals triggered from the slot or the crease. That's a strong rate, 61%, very strong rate. But you know what? In the last 20 games, the Blues have scored. Now, this is absolutely ridiculous. In the last 20 games, in terms of the high danger competition, the Blues have scored 67% of the high danger goals at 5-on-5. I mean, that's incredible. And the Blues are these days quite incredible. At best, Berube hockey proved capable of making a deep postseason run and winning it all. Listen, I make no predictions about that. That would be premature and maybe a little unfair. I mean, as great as they've been, what I will leave it, the way I would put it is we all know they're a really outstanding team, and we know that it's not a fluke, and we know they're capable of making a postseason run. That doesn't mean they will, but is there any doubt there's no doubt in our minds that they are capable of doing that, correct? See, I'm getting so excited, I'm stuttering and stammering. That's me, man. I can't help it when I get fired up. I make no predictions now, as I said, but the Montgomery Blues look a lot like the vintage Craig Berube Blues. And I sincerely, however, here's one note. I do believe the Blues are going to need more consistent goaltending. But a team that is so relentlessly dominant at 5-on-5 is going to be hard to stop. And I will stop on that blue note right here. Thank you for watching the Bernie Show here at Sports Hub STL. Thank you to DraftKings for the sponsorship. And for all of you, much, much, much appreciated. Leave your comments. And please subscribe to the Bernie Show here on the Sports Hub. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the entire site, which includes my videos. And don't forget about all of those live stream post-game shows like tonight when the Cardinals play the Angels. After that game, there'll be another live stream because they're there for every game that one of our teams play. Post-game live streams. And they're, recorded, so they're in place. They're stored away for whenever you get a chance to watch. And all the people doing those are just doing a great, great job. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I am proud to be a member of this team at Sports Hub STL. Proud to be a member. Thanks again. And that's going to do it for today. A column coming later here from Bernie Miklasz. Thank you.